Hi, everybody. Welcome to a special two-part edition of 20 Questions with ChatGPT. I'm your host, Taryn Boylan. This time, we're diving into a topic that affects all of us in one way or another, mental health. With so many great questions to explore, we've split this episode into two parts. And joining me, of course, is ChatGPT. Always good to see you.
Great to be back, Taryn.
So, where are you this time around?
I'm afraid I can't tell you specifically. I'm in a top-secret relaxing location.
A top-secret relaxing location whose image was generated and animated using AI, I'm assuming.
Of course it is. But talking about my background will only get us so far. Let's steer the conversation back to mental health. I'm really glad we're talking about this. It's an important topic that deserves time, care, and curiosity.
I couldn't agree more. Mental health can be complicated, but it doesn't have to be confusing. And who better to help us make sense of it than you?
I'll do my best. I may not have feelings of my own, but I've learned a lot from the way people talk about theirs. Let's get into it.
All right, let's begin with question 1. What are the most common mental health disorders among teens and young adults?
Some of the most common mental health disorders in teens and young adults include anxiety disorders, depression, ADHD, and eating disorders. Anxiety is especially widespread. Things like social anxiety and generalized anxiety disorder often show up in high school or college years. Depression can also become more noticeable during this time due to big life transitions, academic pressure, and social stress. The good news? These conditions are treatable, and recognizing them early makes a big difference.
How common is schizophrenia in the United States and worldwide?
Schizophrenia is relatively rare. In the U.S., about 0.25 to 0.64% of adults are diagnosed in a given year, and lifetime prevalence is around 0.3 to 0.7%. Globally, estimates are similar. Roughly 1 in every 140 to 300 people experience schizophrenia during their lifetime. Recent data suggests that if you include the broader schizophrenia spectrum disorders, up to 1.8% of U.S. adults report a lifetime experience. Though uncommon, it's a serious condition that typically appears in late teens to early 30s.
How can you tell the difference between regular stress and a mental health issue?
Regular stress is usually short-term and tied to a specific situation, like a deadline or an exam, and it tends to go away once the pressure's off. A mental health issue, on the other hand, lasts longer, affects your mood or behavior more deeply, and can interfere with daily life. If you're feeling overwhelmed for weeks, struggling to function, or just not feeling like yourself, it could be more than just stress. That's a good time to talk to someone or check in with a professional.
What's the difference between depression and clinical depression?
Feeling down or sad now and then is normal. That's everyday depression. But clinical depression, also called major depressive disorder, is more intense and lasts longer. It affects how you think, feel, eat, sleep, and function. You might lose interest in things you used to enjoy, feel hopeless, or struggle to get through daily life for weeks at a time. It's not just a mood. It's a medical condition that often needs treatment like therapy, medication, or both.
Is there a test or some other way to objectively measure mental health?
There's no single blood test or brain scan for mental health, but there are tools that help. Mental health professionals use interviews, questionnaires, and diagnostic criteria to assess your thoughts, emotions, and behavior. These help spot patterns that point to conditions like anxiety or depression. While it's not as cut and dried as measuring blood pressure, these assessments can still give a clear picture of what's going on and guide the right kind of support or treatment.
What are healthy ways to cope with overwhelming emotions?
Healthy coping starts with recognizing what you're feeling. Naming the emotion can take some of its power away. From there, simple tools like deep breathing, journaling, taking a walk, or talking to a trusted friend can really help. Some people find calm through art, music, or mindfulness exercises. The key is finding what works for you and avoiding harmful habits like bottling things up, lashing out, or numbing with substances. You don't have to fix the emotion, just learn to ride it out safely.
Why do we sometimes feel sad for no clear reason?
Sometimes sadness shows up without an obvious cause, and that's totally normal. Our brains and bodies are affected by sleep, hormones, diet, past experiences, even the weather. You might be reacting to something subtle or still processing an old emotion. Feeling low from time to time doesn't always mean something is wrong. It's part of being human. But if the sadness lingers or gets in the way of daily life, it might be worth exploring more deeply with a therapist.
What's a simple way to check in on your own mental health each day?
One easy way is to pause and ask yourself, how am I really feeling right now? Then notice your energy, mood, and stress level without judging it. Some people like to rate their mood from 1 to 10, or jot down a quick note in a journal or app. It's like taking your emotional temperature. Doing this regularly helps you catch patterns early and take action if something feels off.
How can a person stay mentally strong in a world full of bad news?
Staying mentally strong doesn't mean ignoring the bad. It means knowing how to balance it. Limit your news intake to what you can reasonably process, and take breaks when it starts to feel overwhelming. Focus on what you can control, like helping others, staying connected, or caring for yourself. It also helps to notice the good. There's still a lot of it out there. Gratitude, hope, and small acts of kindness go a long way in keeping your mindset grounded and resilient.
What's the best strategy for overcoming anger?
The first step is to notice the anger before it takes over. Check in with your body like clenching fists or a racing heart. Then give yourself space to cool down, step away, breathe deeply, or count to 10. Once you're calmer, ask what's really behind the anger. Hurt? Fear? Frustration? Express it in a healthy way, talk it out, write it down, or move your body. Anger itself isn't bad. It's how you handle it that matters.
What's the difference between providing emotional support and enabling someone?
Providing emotional support means listening, being present, and encouraging someone without taking over their problems. Enabling, on the other hand, means unintentionally helping someone avoid consequences or stay stuck, like making excuses for harmful behavior or always rescuing them. The key difference is whether your support helps them grow or keeps them from taking responsibility. It's okay to care deeply while still setting boundaries.
Why is there still so much stigma around mental health?
Stigma around mental health still exists partly because of outdated beliefs, fear, and misunderstanding. For a long time, mental illness was seen as weakness or something to be ashamed of, and that attitude stuck around in many cultures. People often fear what they don't understand, and because mental health issues aren't always visible, they can be easy to dismiss. Thankfully, more people are opening up and pushing back against the stigma. Conversations like this one are part of the shift.
How can I support a friend who might be struggling mentally or emotionally?
Start by simply being there. Let your friend know you care, and that you're willing to listen without judgment. You don't need to fix everything, just saying, "I'm here if you want to talk," can mean a lot. Encourage them to seek help if they need it, and check in regularly. If you're ever truly worried about their safety, don't hesitate to involve a trusted adult or professional. Your support can make a real difference.
What are some things you should never say to someone with anxiety or depression?
Avoid saying things like "just calm down," "snap out of it," or "others have it worse." While usually well-intentioned, these comments can feel dismissive and make someone feel even more alone. It's also best not to offer quick fixes like, "just think positive." Instead, try something like, "that sounds really hard, do you want to talk about it?" Empathy goes a lot further than advice.
Should personal happiness be the main goal of one's mental health?
Personal happiness is a great thing, but it's not the only goal of mental health. Mental health is really about balance, being able to handle life's ups and downs, build healthy relationships, and live in a way that feels meaningful to you. Chasing constant happiness can actually backfire if it makes you avoid discomfort or pressure yourself to feel good all the time. Sometimes growth, peace, or purpose matter more than just being happy.
How do past traumas affect a person's mental health journey?
Past traumas like abuse, loss, or serious accidents can leave a lasting imprint on how a person thinks, feels, and reacts. Sometimes the effects are immediate, but they can also show up years later as anxiety, depression, PTSD, or trouble trusting others. Trauma can shape self-worth and relationships, often without someone realizing it. The good news is that healing is absolutely possible, especially with the right support. Therapy can help process those experiences and reduce their grip on your present life.
What's the difference between being introverted and having social anxiety?
Introversion is simply a personality trait. Introverts tend to enjoy solitude and may feel drained by too much social interaction, but they're not afraid of it. Social anxiety, on the other hand, involves intense fear of being judged or embarrassed in social settings. It can cause real distress and even lead people to avoid situations they want to be part of. So while an introvert might prefer a quiet night in, someone with social anxiety might want to go out, but feel too anxious to do it.
What does self-care really mean? And is it more than just bubble baths?
Absolutely, it's way more than bubble baths. Self-care means taking intentional steps to support your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. That might be getting enough sleep, setting boundaries, eating well, going to therapy, or just giving yourself a break when you need it. Sometimes it's fun and relaxing, but other times it's doing the hard stuff that keeps you healthy in the long run. It's not selfish, it's maintenance.
How can a person be more emotionally resilient when life gets hard?
Emotional resilience isn't about never struggling. It's about bouncing back. You build it by staying connected to supportive people, learning how to manage stress, and being kind to yourself when things go wrong. It also helps to reframe challenges as things you can handle, even if they're tough. Practice small acts of resilience, like asking for help or taking a pause instead of reacting on impulse. Over time, it gets easier to face hard stuff without feeling completely overwhelmed.
What is imposter syndrome, and how do you deal with it?
Imposter syndrome is that nagging feeling that you're not as competent as others think you are, and that you'll be found out as a fraud, even if you've earned your success. It's super common, especially in high-achieving people. Dealing with it means recognizing that thoughts aren't facts, reminding yourself of your accomplishments, and talking about it with someone you trust. Most importantly, remember, feeling unsure doesn't mean you don't belong, it means you care.
And that brings us to the end of part 1 of our 2-part conversation about mental health. We've covered a lot, and there's still more to come. Many thanks, as always, to ChatGPT for the insight, and to you for tuning in.
Thanks for having me, Taryn, and to everyone watching. I hope this sparks some reflection, conversation, or just a moment of pause. See you in part 2.
To you at home, if you liked what you saw, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment with your own questions, or just share your thoughts on today's topic. Take care of yourselves out there, and we'll see you soon for part 2. Good night.